Dr. Yuna Kim looked through her microscope at the tiny alien cells. The research station Harmony's Edge was quiet this morning. She liked working early when most of the other scientists were still sleeping. The station floated in empty space, between star systems, where ships from different alien worlds could meet safely. Yuna had been studying samples from a distant planet for 3 weeks now. The cells were unlike anything she had seen before. They seemed to glow with their own light. She made careful notes in her computer, recording everything she observed. The station housed scientists from 12 different alien species. Yuna was one of only 6 humans aboard. Most days, everyone worked peacefully together. The aliens were curious about human research methods, and Yuna enjoyed learning about their different ways of thinking. A loud bang echoed through the station walls. Yuna looked up from her microscope. That sound was not normal. The station's lights flickered red for a moment, then returned to normal. She saved her work quickly and walked to the large window that showed the space outside. 2 massive fleets of alien warships faced each other. In the distance, on one side, the dark metal ships of the Keth Empire formed neat lines. Their ships looked like giant weapons with engines attached. On the other side, the Zephyrian Collective's crystal ships sparkled in the starlight. They moved in flowing patterns like a school of fish. Yuna's hands pressed against the cold window glass. This was not supposed to happen. Harmony's Edge was in neutral space. No one was allowed to bring weapons here. The station's emergency alarm began to wail. "All personnel report to emergency stations immediately," announced the computer voice. "This is not a drill." Yuna ran back to her lab to secure her samples. As she worked, she could see other scientists through the corridors. The tall lizard-like Keth moved with military precision. The flowing, crystal-bodied Zephyrians seemed to dance even while hurrying. The insect-like Vrex clicked and chittered to each other in their strange language. Another explosion shook the station. This one was much closer. Yuna stumbled and caught herself against her desk. Through the window, she saw bright flashes of weapons fire between the 2 fleets. "What started this?" she whispered to herself. The computer voice spoke again. "Hull breach in Section 7. All human personnel evacuate to Section 12 immediately." Section 7 was right next to the human research area. Yuna gathered her most important data, files, and headed for the exit. But when she reached the corridor, the blast doors had already sealed shut. Red warning lights flashed everywhere. She was trapped. Yuna pressed the emergency button on the door panel. Nothing happened. She tried her communication device, but only static came through. The air in her section smelled wrong now, sweet and burning, like heated metal. Fear made her heart beat faster. She could hear hissing sounds from the walls. The atmospheric systems were failing. Without proper air, she would die in less than an hour. Through the thick glass of the blast door, she could see into the main corridor. Other scientists were evacuating in an orderly way. They walked quickly but did not panic. None of them seemed to notice that the human section was sealed off. Then she saw 3 figures running toward her trapped section. Thanka was a Keth warrior who worked as a security officer on the station. He was twice as tall as Yuna, with dark green scales and golden eyes. His people were known for their military strength and honor codes. Beside him ran Whisper Song, a graceful Zephyrian engineer. Her body looked like living crystal that caught and scattered light in beautiful patterns. The third figure was 7 Clicks, a Vrex medic whose insect-like body moved on 6 legs. They stopped at the blast door and saw Yuna inside. She pressed her hands against the glass and shouted, but they could not hear her through the thick barrier. The corridor on their side was filling with smoke and dangerous gases from the weapons. Damage. Thanka examined the door controls. His translator device crackled as he spoke to the others. Whisper Song's crystal fingers moved quickly over an access panel. 7 Clicks scanned the atmosphere with medical equipment. Yuna watched them work together. They did not have to help her. Their own lives were in danger from the toxic air filling the corridor. The smart thing would be to evacuate with everyone else. But they stayed. Whisperson's body began to crack from the poisonous atmosphere. Dark lines spread across her crystal skin like broken glass. Thanka's breathing became heavy and labored. 7 Clicks' movements grew slower as the bad air affected his system. They were dying to save her. The blast door finally opened with a loud grinding sound. Toxic gas rushed into Yuna's clean air supply. Thanka grabbed her with his powerful arms and carried her toward safety. Whispersong and 7 Clicks collapsed in the corridor, their bodies unable to handle more exposure to the dangerous atmosphere. Emergency teams arrived and pulled all 4 of them to the medical bay. As Yuna lost consciousness, she saw the 3 aliens being rushed to surgery. They had given everything to save a human they barely knew. Later, she learned the truth. The accident had been a test. Both alien governments wanted to see how humans would react under pressure. Her 3 rescuers were now considered traitors by their own people. They had protected one of hers. Now Earth would have to decide what that meant. 6 months after the incident, Yuna Kim stood in front of Earth's most important leaders in Seoul. The big meeting room had screens on every wall, showing star maps and alien ship designs. Her hands shook a little as she spoke about what happened. On the space station, the 3 aliens saved my life, she told the council members. They knew they might die, but they came for me anyway. Captain Jinho Park stood up next to her. He was head of Earth's Space Intelligence Service. His face looked serious as he activated a holographic display. Images of alien messages floated in the air, translated into Korean and English. We have discovered something terrible, Jinho announced. The incident was not an accident. Both the Keth Empire and the Zephyrian Collective planned it together. The room became very quiet. Admiral Mina Lee, a small woman with sharp eyes, leaned forward in her chair. What do you mean, planned? Jinho touched his control panel. New images appeared, showing secret communications between the alien governments. They wanted to test humans. They needed to see how we would react under pressure. The weapons fire, the station damage, even the atmospheric poisoning. It was all carefully designed. But people could have died, said Minister Hoon Choi, the head of Earth's civilian government. That was acceptable to them. Jinho replied coldly. Humans were just test subjects. Yuna felt sick to her stomach. Her 3 friends had nearly died protecting her from a fake emergency. What about Thanka, Whispersong, and 7 Clicks? What happened to them? Jinho's expression grew darker. Their own governments have declared them traitors. The Keth Empire says Thanka violated military orders by helping an enemy. The Zephyrian Collective claims Whispersong damaged their property by breaking station equipment. The Vrex considers 7 Clicks mentally ill for risking his life for another species. That's horrible, Yuna whispered. It gets worse, Jinho continued. He activated another display, showing massive alien fleets moving through space. All 3 of them are now fugitives. If caught, they will be executed, and both alien governments have decided that humans are too unpredictable to be allowed to survive. The screens showed hundreds of warships gathering at the edge of Earth's solar system. The dark metal vessels of the Keth Empire and the crystal ships of the Zephyrian Collective were joining together into one enormous fleet. Admiral Mina Lee stood up quickly. How long do we have? Intelligence suggests they will attack within 3 months, Jinho answered. They want to destroy us before we develop better technology. They consider us a threat to galactic stability. Minister Hyon Choi looked pale. Where are the 3 aliens now? The ones who saved Dr. Kim. Hidden on Luna Base, Jinho replied. They escaped their homeworlds and came to us for help. They're requesting asylum. We can't grant asylum, said Council Member Taekwon firmly. Earth's neutrality laws prevent us from interfering in alien politics. If we help them, we become legitimate targets. Yuna could not stay quiet anymore. They're already planning to kill us. And those 3 risked everything to save human life. We can't just abandon them. Dr. Kim is right, said Admiral Mina Lee slowly. Our neutrality is worthless if we're all dead. And these three aliens have valuable information about enemy capabilities. Jinho nodded. Kenka knows every detail of Keth's military tactics. Whisper Song designed many of the Zephyrian ship systems herself. 7 Clicks understands both species' biological weaknesses. They're offering to share everything with us. In exchange for what? Asked Minister Hun Choi. Protection, Yuna answered. They want us to promise that Earth will defend anyone who protects human life. The council members looked at each other with worried expressions. This was a much bigger decision than just helping 3 refugees. Taekwon shook his head. We can't make promises like that. What if hundreds of aliens ask for our help? What if we have to fight wars on distant planets? What if we don't? Yuna shot back. What if good people across the galaxy think humans abandon their friends? What if nobody ever helps us again because they know we won't return the favor? Admiral, Mina Lee walked to the big window that looked out over Seoul. The enemy fleets will be here in 3 months. We need every advantage we can get. Captain Jinho added more information to the displays. Our 3 guests have provided detailed intelligence about invasion plans. The enemy expects us to surrender quickly. They think humans are too primitive and cowardly to fight back. Maybe they're right, said Minister Hun Choi quietly. No, Yuna said firmly. Thanka told me something when they rescued me. He said I was worth protecting. If 1 human is worth 3 aliens risking their lives, then 3 aliens are worth Earth taking a stand. The room was silent for a long moment. Finally, Admiral Mina Lee turned back to face the group. I propose we grant asylum to all 3 aliens, she announced. And I propose we establish a new policy. Earth will protect anyone who protects human life, regardless of their species or origin. Minister Haeon Choi looked shocked. That's essentially a declaration of war against half the galaxy. No, Yuna corrected him. It's a declaration that Earth stands with anyone who chooses to do the right thing. The vote would happen tomorrow. Earth's future hung in the balance. The Global Assembly Hall in Geneva was packed with representatives from every nation on Earth. Minister Taekwon stood at the central podium, looking out at nearly 2,000 faces. Behind him on the stage sat 3 very different figures that most humans had never seen before. Thanka's green scales still showed white scars where the toxic gas had burned him. The Keth warrior sat perfectly straight in his chair, but his golden eyes moved constantly, watching for threats. Whisper Song's crystal body caught the lights and threw rainbow patterns across the walls. Dark cracks still ran through her translucent skin, like lightning frozen in glass. 7 Clicks moved carefully on his 6 legs, his insect shell patched with medical adhesive where it had been damaged. 6 months ago, these 3 beings saved the life of Dr. Yuna Kim, Minister Taekwon announced to the assembly. Today, we must decide if Earth will save theirs. In the front row, Yuna watched the faces of the world leaders. Some looked curious. Others appeared frightened or angry. A few seemed bored, as if this was just another political meeting. The facts are simple, Taekwon continued. Both the Keth Empire and Zephyrian Collective are preparing to attack Earth. They have declared humans too dangerous to exist. Our only allies are 3 refugees, who their own governments want to execute. Opposition leader Kyung-soo stood up from his seat. Minister Taekwon, granting asylum to 3 individuals is one thing. But Dr. Kim is asking us to promise protection to any alien who helps any human, anywhere in the galaxy. That's impossible to honor. Murmurs spread through the assembly hall. Many representatives nodded in agreement. The promise seemed too big. Too dangerous. Yuna was called to the witness stand. She walked slowly to the microphone, feeling the weight of thousands of eyes on her. Behind her, she could hear 7 Clicks clicking softly, in what she had learned was his species' way of showing support. 6 months ago, I was going to die, she began. The air in my section was poisoned. The doors were sealed. No rescue was coming. She pointed to the 3 aliens on the stage. Thanka could have evacuated safely with his security team. Whispersong could have followed emergency procedures and left with the other engineers. 7 Clicks could have stayed in the medical bay, where the air was clean. But they didn't, Yuna continued, her voice getting stronger. They saw a human in danger, and they ran toward that danger. Not because of treaties, or politics, or orders from their governments. They did it because they believed I was worth saving. She paused, looking around the assembly. Now their governments call them traitors. They face execution if they're caught. And those same governments are bringing war fleets to destroy us. Representative Sarah Kong from the Korean delegation raised her hand. Dr. Kim, what exactly are you asking us to do? I'm asking us to be the kind of species that keeps promises, Yuna replied. These 3 showed us that some people will risk everything to protect strangers. If we abandon them now, what does that say about humanity? Admiral Mina Lee was called to speak next. She presented intelligence reports on holographic displays that filled the air above the assembly. Our guests have provided detailed information about the coming invasion, she announced. Thanka has explained Keth's battle tactics that we never knew existed. Whispersong has given us the technical specifications of Zephyrian weapons. 7 Clicks has shared biological data about both species. She gestured to tactical displays showing Earth's defenses. Without this information, the invasion would succeed in less than a week. With it, we have a chance to survive. What do they want in return? Called out a representative from Brazil. Admiral Mina Lee looked back at the 3 aliens, then at Yuna. They want us to establish what Dr. Kim calls the Guardian Covenant. Earth would promise to protect any being who risks their life to defend human life. The assembly erupted in arguments. Representatives shouted questions and objections. Some called the idea noble, others said it was suicide. Minister Taekwon called for order. We will vote on 2 separate proposals. First, do we grant asylum to Thanka, Whispersong, and 7 Clicks? Second, do we establish the Guardian Covenant as official Earth policy? During the debate that followed, Thanka was allowed to speak through his translator device. His deep voice rumbled through the assembly hall. Humans ask why we saved one of your kind, he said. The answer is simple. We looked at Dr. Kim and saw someone worth protecting. Today, you look at us and must decide if we are worth protecting. Your choice will tell the galaxy what humanity truly values. Whispersong's musical voice came next. My people believe in balance and harmony. When someone shows kindness, kindness should be returned. When someone shows courage, courage should be rewarded. 7 Clicks chittered softly before speaking. In medical work, we have a rule: do no harm, but sometimes, to do no harm, you must be willing to fight those who would cause harm. The first vote was close. 1,247 in favor of asylum, 976 against. Earth would protect the 3 refugees. The second vote was even closer. Representatives argued late into the night. Some said the Guardian Covenant would make Earth a target. Others said Earth was already a target, and this would give them allies. When the final count came in, the hall was silent. 1,089 in favor, 1,134 against. The Guardian Covenant had failed by 45 votes. Yuna felt her heart sink. Then Minister Taekwon raised his hand. I invoke executive emergency powers, he announced. Given the imminent threat to Earth, I am establishing the Guardian Covenant by ministerial decree. The invasion fleets were only 6 weeks away. Earth had just declared that it would protect anyone brave enough to protect human life. The real test was about to begin. Admiral Mina Lee stood on the bridge of the battleship Soul's Pride, watching the enemy fleets approach through the darkness of space. The sensors showed more alien warships than humanity had ever seen in one place. 200 Dark Keth vessels moved in perfect military formation, their hulls bristling with weapons. 300 crystalline Zephyrian ships flowed around them like a sparkling river. "They're not even trying to hide," reported Captain Sumi Kong from her station. "Standard invasion formation. They expect us to surrender before the shooting starts." On Luna Base, the war room buzzed with activity. Human officers worked alongside their 3 alien advisors, planning Earth's desperate defense. Thanka's scarred claws traced attack patterns on the holographic battle display. "Keth warriors value honor above all else," he explained to the human commanders. "They will attack the strongest targets first, to prove their courage. They expect you to meet them in open battle." Whisper Song's cracked crystal form shimmered as she accessed stolen Zephyrian communication codes. "My people fight like a swarm of insects. They surround enemies and attack from all directions at once, but they depend on constant communication between ships." 7 Clicks studied biological scan data from both fleets. Both species have one weakness humans do not share. They fight to conquer. You fight to protect. This changes everything about how battle works. Admiral Mina Lee listened carefully to their advice. Earth's fleet was much smaller than the invasion force, but it had been built with a different purpose. Human ships were designed to defend, not attack. They had thick armor, powerful shields, and weapons meant to stop enemies, rather than destroy planets. The first battle began near Jupiter. 50 human ships faced twice as many alien vessels. The Keth warships charged forward in straight lines, expecting the humans to either run away or meet them head-on instead. The human ships formed a protective circle around Jupiter's mining stations. They did not advance to attack. They waited. "What are they doing?" demanded Keth, Admiral Corvaten, from his flagship. "Why do they not come to fight us properly?" The answer came when his ships entered weapon range of the human formation. Every human vessel opened fire at the same time, but not at the Keth warships. They targeted the space between the enemy and the mining stations, creating a wall of energy blasts that no ship could pass through safely. "Defensive fighting," Thanka explained to the human commanders. "Your people are not trying to destroy the enemy. You are trying to keep them away from what you want to protect." The Keth ships found themselves trapped. They could not advance without flying into concentrated fire. They could not retreat without losing honor. While they hesitated, the Zephyrian swarm attacked from behind, but Whisper Song had given the humans the Zephyrian communication frequencies. Human electronic warfare ships jammed the crystal vessel's ability to coordinate their attacks. Individual Zephyrian ships became confused and started flying into each other. "Impossible," whispered Zephyrian fleet singer Bright Edge as her formation fell apart. "How do they know our sacred frequencies?" The battle lasted 6 hours. When it ended, the alien invasion force had lost 30 ships. The humans had lost only 5. More importantly, every human mining station was still safe. News of the victory spread across the galaxy faster than light-speed communication. Other alien species watched in amazement as Earth's small fleet defeated forces twice their size. The second battle came at Mars. This time the aliens tried different tactics. The Keth attempted to split up and attack from multiple directions. The Zephyrians used new communication codes. It did not matter. The humans had learned something important from their alien advisors. Both enemy species were used to fighting for territory, or resources, or glory. They did not understand an enemy that only cared about protecting others. Human ships moved like shepherds protecting a flock. They stayed close to Mars' orbital facilities and refugee ships. When aliens tried to get past them, the humans fought with desperate fury. When aliens retreated to regroup, the humans let them go without pursuit. "They fight like parents protecting their children," observed 7 Clicks as he watched the battle reports. "This is not military strategy. This is something deeper." By the third day of fighting, something unexpected began to happen. Ships from other alien species started arriving in Earth's solar system. But instead of joining the invasion, they came to help defend Earth. The insectoid Montry sent 12 vessels. These humans saved our trade delegation from pirates last year, their commander explained. We remember debts of honor. The plant-like Verdani contributed their medical ships. Earth doctors shared healing knowledge freely with our people. Now we return the gift. Even some Keth and Zephyrian ships defected to Earth's side. Their crews had watched humans risk everything to protect strangers, and decided they wanted to fight for that cause instead. Admiral Corviton found his fleet shrinking every day as more ships switched sides. His own warriors began questioning orders to attack a species that only fought to defend others. The final battle came at Earth itself. The remaining invasion fleet was now smaller than Earth's defenders, surrounded by ships from a dozen different species, all united by one simple idea: protect those who protect others. Withdraw, ordered Fleet Singer Bright Edge, as her crystal ships retreated toward deep space. These humans have turned our own people against us. From the observation deck of Luna Base, Yuna watched the enemy fleets disappear into the darkness. Around her, humans and aliens worked together to repair damaged ships and tend to the wounded. The war was over. Earth had won not by destroying enemies, but by showing the galaxy what it meant to truly protect others. 2 years after the Solar War ended, Dr. Yuna Kim walked through the halls of the new Terran Protectorate headquarters in Busan. The building was unlike anything Earth had ever constructed before. Wide corridors accommodated beings of different sizes, from tiny crystalline entities to massive gas-breathing creatures. The walls displayed artwork from 47 different worlds, all members of Earth's growing alliance. Through the large windows, Yuna could see the harbor where ships from dozens of species docked peacefully together. Sleek human vessels sat next to the organic curves of Verdani bioships and the geometric patterns of Montry craft. Construction crews worked on expanding the facilities to handle even more traffic. Today was special. The Terran Protectorate Council was signing a new treaty with 3 former enemy governments, the Keth Empire and Zephyrian Collective, along with the neutral hegemony worlds, had finally agreed to recognize Earth's role as defender of the innocent across the galaxy. In the main assembly hall, Admiral Mina Lee shook hands with alien diplomats who had once ordered her death. She now commanded the largest defensive fleet in galactic history, with ships and crews from 63 different species. Her uniform bore a new insignia, a simple shield with stars from many worlds surrounding it. Strange how quickly everything changed, said Minister Taekwon, as he joined Yuna at the viewing gallery. He had been promoted to Secretary General of the Protectorate after the war. His hair was grayer now, but his eyes were bright with satisfaction. Not so strange, Yuna replied, watching the ceremony below. People want to believe in something good. We just gave them the chance. At the center of the hall, her 3 friends from Harmony's Edge worked at their new jobs. Thanka wore the uniform of a Protectorate defense advisor, his old scars now symbols of honor among both humans and Keth. He had requested to keep them visible as a reminder of the choice that started everything. Whispersong had become the chief of technological integration. Her cracked crystal body was now considered beautiful by Zephyrian standards, a mark of someone who had sacrificed for others. Young Zephyrians would trace the patterns of her scars and ask to hear the story of how she saved a human. Managed a new interspecies medical center. His patched shell had healed completely, but he wore replica patches as a badge of pride. Vrex visitors would click respectfully when they saw him, understanding that he had found the courage there species claimed was impossible. The Keth delegation wants to present something to you, Taekwon told Yuna, a formal apology for the incident on Harmony's Edge. Yuna shook her head. I don't need their apology. What they did led to all this. She gestured around the bustling building. Sometimes the worst things people do create the best outcomes. Through the communication system, they could hear Admiral Corvidon speaking to the assembly. The proud Keth warrior had become an unlikely ally After watching human forces protect his own damaged ships during the final battle, the Keth Empire acknowledges that humans fight with honor unknown to us, his translator announced. You show strength not by conquering others, but by protecting those who cannot protect themselves. This is true warrior spirit. Fleetsinger Bright Edge spoke. Next for the Z. We sought to test human worthiness, and found ourselves tested instead. Your species judges worth, not by power or wealth, but by courage and kindness. We have much to learn from this wisdom. Captain Jinho Park approached with a datapad full of reports. Intelligence shows that membership requests keep increasing. 12 new species this month, including 3 that were enemy allies during the war. What do they want? Asked Taekwon. The same thing everyone wants, Jinho replied. Protection from those who would hurt the innocent, and the chance to be part of something that stands for good instead of power. Yuna walked to the memorial wall, where names were carved in stone. At the top were 3 names she knew well, the first humans who had died protecting alien civilians after the Guardian Covenant was established. Below them were hundreds more names, from dozens of species, all beings who had given their lives defending others. It's working, she said quietly. The idea is spreading. At the bottom of the memorial, new names were being added every day. Not names of the dead, but names of the saved. Refugees who found sanctuary under protectorate protection. Scientists who could research freely without fear. Children who grew up knowing someone would defend them from those who meant harm. The ceremony ended with the signing of the Galactic Protection Accord. Representatives from 127 worlds put their marks on the document that officially recognized the right of all innocent beings to seek protection from the Terran Protectorate. As the crowd dispersed, Yuna found herself alone with Thanka in the quiet memorial garden. The old warrior looked out at the stars visible through the transparent dome. Do you ever regret it? She asked him. Saving me that day. Everything that followed. Thankaz's golden eyes met hers. I told you then that you were worth protecting. Small Star Walker, now I know the truth. One protected human became a protected galaxy. The choice was easy. The consequences were magnificent. Outside, construction continued on New Geneva Station, the Protectorate's first joint military base. Ships from every member world would train together. There, learning to fight not for conquest or glory, but for the simple principle that everyone deserved to be safe. Earth had become exactly what Yuna had hoped for 2 years ago, a species that kept its promises. They had protected those who protected them, and in doing so, had shown the galaxy a better way to exist. The age of the Terran Protectorate had truly begun.